Sure. Howdy, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Contagious Smiles Unstoppable. What was that?
It was light bulb.
With Victoria and Michael. Of course, our dog Stucco, being his lazy self, sleeping on the floor down here in our little office.
Rusty somewhere nearby, and we will be getting a new puppy in 6 weeks and 3 days. Not that I'm counting.
Thanks to our buddy Will.
Not that I'm counting. Hey, I did so good not getting any puppy stuff until yesterday. I have been really good. Now, I may have gotten some puppy blankets, and I may have gotten some puppy food, and a little puppy passy, and treats, and some toys, and, things like that. But, we just have to embrace the fact that we're having a puppy. We're having a puppy. I'm so excited.
So it's going to be another golden retriever.
AKC. This one is white and ours are red. So it's like my favorite roses of all time are the candy cane roses, which are red and white. So we have red and white golden retrievers. So it just follows suit. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, new addition come to this family.
Yep. This is true. Crickets.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, we have a lot going on. No, not on the puppies. No. We have a new book being released this upcoming week. Healing After Narcissistic Abuse, 1,001 questions to help you in your healing journey. And the few people that have seen it ahead of time cannot wait to actually get the physical book in their hands. It is really, oh my God, I'm sorry. Stucco, did you cook dinner?
I did.
Because Stucco is releasing toxicity.
Oh my gosh. Oh. Oh.
Wow.
Okay, you're banned from the office.
No, that had to be your leftover cooking. Did you feed him some of your food? Did you feed him some of your food?
I'll let you know after my taste buds come back because I have my mouth open.
Because that's horrible. I hope you feel better, baby, because that's raunchy. That is, oh God, that's raunchy. Anyway, sorry about that.
Unscripted, unstoppable.
Right? So that book will be released this week, and that is super exciting. And then we just got the victoriacure.com website up and going, and that is doing well. And so we are literally just like, I guess servers call it in the weeds because there's so much going on. Some people have asked us about what's going on with the whole like addiction thing, if we could provide some further information, a little more information, because we've kind of been kind of cryptic about a lot of it. And because it does hit home with a lot of our listeners, and, they listen to us to help give them little nuggets of insight that can help them and what they have going on. My husband's yawning, y'all. I apologize. He's only been up since 3:30 this afternoon. You don't hear the dial.
My wife has an extensive medical knowledge due to her past and our daughter's past. I do not. Okay. I could tell you I have an extensive knowledge about drinking. Okay. And I could tell you from my point of view that I did not have an addiction. Okay. Even though I went to work drinking, I worked drinking on the job.
Drove drinking on the job. Drove to work
clocked
drinking.
Out, grabbed the beer out of the cooler, drove to the first bar, like one light down, had a beer at the bar, then drove home with another beer, that they gave you to go. And then once you get home,
this place gave you beers to go because that's illegal.
Yes.
They're not allowed to let you leave.
They're a fraternity.
Yeah. I know someone who got married in a bar.
It was the same fraternity.
That also had someone have a heart attack on the wedding day.
The same fraternity.
In the bar.
Yeah. Anyway, Once you get home.
It's not home, it's a house.
Once you get to the house, you...
Hacienda.
You drink again. And that's what I did to drown out the noise.
But people do want to know. You are not the addict we were referring to. Like,
I was not an addict.
but we're not
You asked
referring
me,
to
I was
you.
not an addict.
Okay, but you're not the person that we're referencing.
No.
And it's definitely not Faith. And it's definitely not me because I don't even take a pain medication after surgery.
I did not have a drinking problem. I can look you straight down and said, I did not have a drinking problem.
So how do you think having someone in the family who does have an issue affects the rest of the family?
It's stressful because now that I'm not, I stopped drinking, y'all.
But we're not talking about you.
Right. Now that I stopped, it's stressful because I can see that, hey, I did have a problem.
Okay.
Right. But I wouldn't admit it then. Right.
Right.
And this family member that we're discussing will not admit it.
No.
Okay. I think he or she's came forward only because of the pressure that we put on them.
I would agree to that to an extent, but not
Right.
completely.
Not a sincere, hey, I don't have a problem.
Well, the doctors have also stated that there's a problem. And we have been trying
outside opinion.
Not just one, we have like 6.
Sure.
But we have been doing all that we can to help that individual get onto the road of recovery.
And it's hard without their help.
Well, it's not only that, but the mood of trying to help someone who either doesn't want to admit it or doesn't accept it, it's hard to do. It's a challenging scenario. It's a very challenging scenario when you only have the best interest and that individual is in complete and utter denial.
So I had a cousin that had drug addiction, and they had to, he got locked up several times because of it. And then he had to go into rehab multiple times. Okay. Go in, come out, go in, come out.
Was he in rehab or was he 1013?
Rehab.
Now, for our listeners who might not know, why don't you explain the difference?
Okay. Rehab is a place that you voluntarily go.
No, you can also be ordered to go.
You can't by the court.
Court can order you to attain.
A 1013 is a code reference to involuntary transport to a psychiatric or evaluation or psychiatric hospital or clinic to get evaluated and treatment.
Well, I've worked with a lot of families advocating for special needs and domestic violence. And what normally happens is you arrive on scene and critical response, more times than not, respond. Law enforcement responds and they come in, and then the paramedics, EMT are staged until advised that it's safe to arrive inside. And then it is the opinion of the officers and of the paramedic and EMTs as to whether or not to go ahead and transport. And that takes the pressure off of the family for having to say, hey, we need this individual to be transported because they're not in a good place at the moment. So that is the difference in those two individual situations. But what do you do when you have somebody that is just so in denial and all you're trying to do is help and it's not received because they don't want to admit it, but everyone in the medical profession, doctors, therapists, PAs, NPs, anybody who has initials at the end of their name all state that, things need to get on the right road and get better. And people can truly function. Like you said, you drove to work functioning under the influence of alcohol, right? And so you were able to drive, even though that wasn't smart. You were able
I do not condone it, y'all.
You were able to function at your job, which was like hands-on job. It wasn't, and you were able to perform your duties of your employment. I'm so sorry.
My wife's a little tired.
Oh, some of us didn't get up at 3:30 this afternoon. And so with that being said, you were able to function. Well, some people can take opioids and drive, even though they're absolutely not supposed to, they're not supposed to at all, and still did. until a caregiver gets in the picture and, says this is not safe because it's not safe for you and it's not safe for anyone out on the road as well. But they need more and more opioids in order to obtain that high that they're so accustomed to wanting, that they don't necessarily see themselves as an addict.
So the question is, how do you show them, how do you convince them that they are, so that they can start getting the help they need?
So what do you do?
It's tough. It's tough to convince them, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's tough to, but y'all know who we advocate for, so don't get offended when I say this, okay? Because I'll bring it right back to our home. How do you explain to a blind person what the color blue is?
Hey, I can't have him remember, I'm deaf. I'm 88% deaf in one ear and 100% deaf in the other. So when Michael says this, he says this as a metaphor. He is the very last person who will ever degrade or minimize somebody for anything. They're not challenges. It's just a different way to go through life. It's not even, we call it medical obstacles, and it's not a disability. It's not impossible. You are able to do so much more. So this is a man who, when he sees anybody with anything going on, he carries on a conversation and makes them laugh. So I just want to put that little exclaimer on there. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
It's okay. I have no tact.
We know.
I just come out guns blazing. But yeah, so it's difficult to explain to that individual, hey, buddy, there's a history here. You've been on XX and X opioids. I can't say that.
Only because it's a serious conversation and we're not.
You've been on these drugs for this many years. You've done build up a tolerance. You're popping 3 at a time
Or more. And that's of just one.
And there's an addiction here. There's a problem. You're crying for these pain meds. You're asking for them. You're hooting and hollering, moseying around, moping around when you don't get them. And
drug seeking.
How do we convince you that there's the issue? The doctors have told you stop taking them. They're not helping. You don't need them anymore. You're addicted.
What about when you go and reach and take other people's medications?
Okay. Now that should immediately warn you as an individual.
But when that individual says, well, they were there, I figured I could just take them. I mean, that's the answer. It is, and that's not true. That's absolutely not true.
Yeah.
But when the caregivers have nothing but the purest intentions on trying to help, it makes it 10 times harder, because you're battling this demon to try to make somebody better, but you're really having to deal with that person, because that person, if they don't want to be helped, there's not much you can do. And it's not they don't want to be helped by you. They don't want to be helped by Joey Bag of Donuts. They don't want to be helped by, Susie Q. They don't want to be helped. They see themselves as being able to function every day like they have for the last however long. What is my husband doing? Seriously?
Yes, you have a little callus on your big toe.
Thank you for telling the world.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that.
So what do? You have a loved one that has an addiction. You can't convince them. They're in your home with you. They're safe. They're secured. They're being pampered. They're being taken care of. What do? Well, I will choose.
You've already put the cat out.
I will choose to take them out of that environment.
You already let the cat out.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you have. Because anybody who listens, you have. Because anybody who listens knows just from what you just spit out of your mouth.
Now, other people.
People know now.
I'm not.
You just opened
the next one.
No.
Yes.
Nope. Good thing it's a double hitter then tonight, because you already just let that cat out. You did. I mean,
Not yet.
You did.
No. So, that's what I would choose.
You can't back this up. There's no way. There's no way. So what do you mean by take them out?
You take them out of their safe environment.
And do what with them?
You put them in an uncomfortable environment where they have to admit, hey, I'm no longer getting pampered like I was. No one's catering to my whims.
And what if they don't admit to this?
It's going to be a hard awakening.
And what if they don't admit to this? What if they show absolutely no emotion and are incapable of admitting?
Well, I figured at least a week out of
You
that
think a
environment.
week would constitute a redirection for something that's
How long do you have to
transpired
before you
from?
start detoxing? Before you start having
It depends
withdrawals?
really on the individual.
Okay.
You can't say textbook clarifies
I can imagine
detoxes.
if I've done these drugs for, I don't know, 15 something years, and I didn't have them in my system after day 3, I'm going berserk.
Well, not if you know how to be a functioning addict. I mean, yeah, you get short-tempered, snarky, snappy.
You got the sweats, the chills, you got the shaking.
You want to sleep a lot. You have, you want the darkness, you want the dark room, but another thing we really need to talk about is the triangulation. So why don't you kind of explain what triangulation is? No, go ahead.
No, this is your department.
No, triangulation is where let's take for instance in the scenario, the addict tries to literally pull one person in the family to their side and try to deflect onto others so that technically the heat comes off of that person and they try to cause turmoil within the family or the home to try to take the light off of them and what they're going through. And that's a challenge. That's very challenging when, all you have is the best intentions of trying to help somebody and they literally, if it's not about them, then to hell with them. And unfortunately, you and I both have a lot of people who have that mentality that if it's not about them, to hell with them on both sides. I mean, I say we're pretty close to equal numbers on both sides of the family that just, are the epitome of narcissistic assholes. I mean, you got to call it what it is, right? I mean, I didn't say it. You got to call. He has this phrase he cannot stand, and he just looked at me like, "Oh, you're gonna say it," but I mean, it is. It's literally the fact that there are narcissistic assholes that are so self-centered and self-involved, and if it's not about them, to hell with anyone else. I mean, we could do examples all day long, on both sides of the family. And it's mind blowing. I really think I was born in a generation that is like from way back early 1900s. Because I mean, I seriously I can't comprehend and wrap around a lot of crap that's done in this time frame. I just can't. I don't understand it. I don't see how some people do what they do. I just don't. He's just bitten. Like you have to look at his face. He's just like you have to see my husband's face to understand. But what is this? What is this?
I just think you're a good looking woman.
Whatever. My husband's still in his pajamas. He's wearing his slippers. It's
Okay.
8:30 at night.
They forecasted 9 feet of snow.
Not here.
Well, and ice covered the
So he
roads.
said 3 inches of ice, not 9 feet. See how men measure shit the wrong way? I mean, come on now. Really? And you ain't been outside anyway to matter. And it's not like your pajamas are flannel footsies or onesies or whatever. You're in shorts and a t-shirt.
Man in a onesie the other night.
We have children that are grown adults, not Faith.
They're not grown adult.
Well,
If
physically,
you're wearing a onesie.
No. Your other two that I consider mine as well have participated even currently recently in full onesie outfits.
No, but I plan for the day.
Left side.
Stay at the home in my pajamas.
You do that a lot though.
That's because I got fired.
Because you were taking care of somebody who we've already said who. So, I mean,
Because I was taking care of someone.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So. What were we talking about?
You slipping up.
No.
Yes.
On that note.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
There's a lot of crickets.
I know. I hope y'all doing good out there. Seen a lot of news about the weather and showed our daughter some snow. It was literally over the tops of cars.
So let me ask you, how do you, one of the things, especially like, let's go for instance in the NICU, when parents have a newborn that's in the NICU, the divorce rate just is astronomical. It's crazy. Well, when people are caregiving for someone in the family and things are going on, it causes a lot of tension in the family. How do you or how will you make sure that that doesn't happen?
Are you asking me?
I am.
I thought you were asking the audience.
I'm asking you. They can't answer me right
How
now
do I?
verbally. You can.
How do I? Well, I'm going to be right there by my child, by my significant other. If they're in the NICU, I'm right there with them. You know,
Okay, what about
Gi-
caregiving for someone,
giving
an
rules,
adult?
giving caregiving for an adult. Yes, that is stressful. Okay, there's a lot going on, a lot of dynamics you don't know that are there until you're in that position. Okay, my wife and I have recently took on my father-in-law inside the home.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on.
I mean, your father-in-law, my dad.
Wow. I just don't even have. Yeah, I always do. But like, seriously? That, like, wow. I'm glad that's recorded. Because you know that you would not want that man in this house.
I take care of him.
You would bring him in.
I take care of him. That's all I got to say.
Whatever. Absolutely not. I know you wouldn't. Whatever. And you wouldn't let him talk to me in manners that have happened and transpired.
No, and that's why I said it's stressful because you don't know what's going to happen until you're there. My wife and I try to come up with scenarios about this move-in prior to the move-in,
Mm-hmm.
and
How'd that turn out?
I don't think we were fully prepared
Why?
because it hasn't worked out
Why?
the way we thunk it.
Why?
What is that? All you can say is why?
Why? I have ice cream for you after we're done. That makes you feel better.
Oh, what is that? Like a treat?
Yeah, you can have a
You
treat.
do a podcast, you get a treat.
Well, you're only like 5 days late in doing this one, so.
So why hasn't it turned out like we thought?
Mm-hmm.
It's been more than we thought.
That is such a cover up.
It has been more than we thought. We didn't think that there was going to be this much to it.
Okay.
That's correct?
Yes, but I'm prepared because I have been someone who's been caregiving most of my life.
There's other aspects. Okay, when you're caregiving for someone, you also have their property to take care of, their bills to take care of. Okay, insurance paperwork to get done if they're able or not able to do it themselves. So my wife has taken on a lot, like everything, caring for this man.
Like scheduling
And
appointments.
it's just not reciprocated.
Well, it's not.
I mean, I've heard thank you one time.
But that was very facetiously stated.
Yeah.
But like literally every appointment, even when they were booked out for 6 months, he was seen within a week. I mean, we've been from nephrology to podiatry and everywhere in between, literally.
That's head to foot.
Right. And best of the best doctors were people, even other doctors are like, we couldn't get you in in a week or two. I don't know how you pulled that off, but it was because we only had the absolute purest intentions on helping him to get as healthy as he possibly can.
Yipper.
Yeah.
And we're still trying to get that same help. Just on a different avenue right now.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you go about it with only the purest of intentions when it's such a challenge? That's the problem. That's the question so many caregivers don't have an answer to.
You just want to give up.
Well,
The hell with this.
some people won't give up. Some people will. Some people will be like, this isn't my responsibility.
Yeah.
So how do you manage? How do you cope? That's the unanswered question.
Well, do like we do. We keep doing scenarios and what ifs, and this is what I think. What do you think? And we got our daughter involved. What do you think? What would you do after? What would you do before? Let's go through these scenarios. What if this happens? What if this transpires? Okay, where do we go from here? Immediate, long term. So yeah.
I'm also one of these diligent people who I'm meticulous about everything. And some people think it's such a gift, and it really isn't. I write everything down at the end of the day, what transpired and what happened. So it's easy to reference and return back to for multiple reasons later down the line for reflection as well. And it does make a difference. It also helps because it is so stressful and tedious to like deal with the everyday, making sure that medication is administered at the exact time it's supposed to, all the pills are given when they're supposed to, that, you're eating and you're drinking your water and you're, not getting atrophy, and you're making your appointments and you're attending your appointments and you're attending procedures and everything in between as well. And you write everything down, and it's almost like you're withdrawing it from yourself and putting it on paper. And when you look down and you're like, okay, I did this today. Today's done. It's a sense of accomplishment in one way, and it kind of lets you know that you made it through that day. And that's really important.
Where did you learn that from?
Myself, I started doing all that with Faith when she was in there, because when you have a child in the NICU, they make you room in and they make you handle all of the care prior to, and they train you on absolutely everything. So I'm this person that is like, okay, I want you to train me and then train me for worst case scenarios. So let's say, because she had a tracheostomy, let's say the suction machine didn't work. What do we do? What if the equipment failed? And they're like, what? I'm like, what if the equipment failed? What if the suction machine stopped suctioning? I only have one. What do I do? What if there's an occlusion in the trach? What do we do? What if, there's a million different scenarios. What if her G tube came out? What if her GJ tube came out and that can't be put back in? What do we do with the stoma? All these different scenarios. What if she's having an epileptic grand mal seizure at the time? She's notorious for putting her chin over her stoma, her tracheostomy. What do? At that time, she also had mandibular distractions, because if Faith's going to do it, she's going to do it all the way. So she had mandibular distractions, which are metal rods that are in the jawline of the face. And behind each ear was a metal rod that you had to take this device twice a day. And as her mother, was ungodly painful to do to do that to her. And you crank these things in order to extend out the lower jaw so that she can have room to breathe in the airway. And so you have to know all these worst case scenarios. Like, what if it doesn't turn? What if it stops turning? Well, then it hits some kind of roadblock, if you will, and you have to uncrank it. But, you talk to craniofacial and they walk you through how to do it. And so I wanted to know the ins and outs of all scenarios. So I learned how to take care of the equipment, how to, what to do if the equipment isn't operational, how to, do an emergent trach change, if she's coded, if she's all the different scenarios. And so I wrote everything down at the end of the day, like meticulously, everything down. And I reflected back to it a lot, because if, let's say, a month or so down the road, and I would put tabs on it, like a red tab was, let's say, feeding. Blue was breathing, because code blue, right? So I remember it that way. And so I would go back to that book and I would look at the tabs on the top and I'd say, oh, something about feeding. So I'd go to the red, I'd flip it open and look at all the reds and say, oh, okay, maybe that can help me get through whatever problem this is, because there were solutions in that book. Like, had problems getting the tube in. Obviously, I got the tube back in. How did I do it? I may have used, that KY jelly that they give you with it. And, the gastroenterologist, they put the tubes back in. They put the feeding tubes back in. I was trained how to do it myself. So it comes with a little like trial packet of KY for you to stick the actual button in right before you enlarge it to make sure there's no holes and that the air doesn't come through it. with a syringe. You fill the syringe with water and then you inflate the balloon to make sure. So I would go back and say, okay, what could I have done different that worked before? And so these are why I started taking really meticulous notes and learning how to do her caregiving. And then because I'm anal on a lot of things, and I openly admit it, I made a cheat book where I did it in sections. Like there was a red section and a blue section and blah, blah, blah. And then I would put in columns like unable to get tube in, and right beside it, I listed all of the solutions that worked to do it, or unable to, get the connector in, and I listed all the solutions that would connect to it the correct way. And then I had a little cheat book, and it saved a lot of time, a lot of frustration, and a lot of like panicking because you knew you had some sort of solution that worked at some point in time.
Okay.
And now look at her now, a little rock star.
Yeah, she's a rock star, all right.
She's amazing.
She is.
If I do say so myself. And I do, because she's
a
amazing.
bundle of happiness.
She's a smart ass. I love it because I'll say to her, "Whose are you right now?" And she's like, "Am I being good or am I being bad?" And I'm like, "I think you're being hilarious." And she's like, "Well, if I'm acting great, I'm yours. If I'm a smart ass, I'm dad's." I think it's great.
So right now, I'm trying to scratch my back, and I'm reminded of why my dang back itches so much.
Oh, this is fantastic.
Because her and her cousin put waxing strips on my back.
No, they didn't just do it. They left you a good like 6 inches in between the strips, and they did like east to west, not north to south. So across on the back of your shoulder blades. And when they yanked them, they made you look like you had angel wings. Great.
Yeah, so I'm still itching, and that's been weeks.
And now you know what women feel like when they get waxed.
No, I don't want to know. Well, only one will know what one woman.
I don't wax.
Like.
I would rather groom myself because no. First of all, I'm allergic to the adhesive in the wax. Second of all, no. Every time I've ever thought about it, I always think of that 40-year virgin, Kelly Clarkson! And he pulls off that wax strip.
Oh, Steve Burrell?
Yes. And like, he's as hairy as you.
He's hairy.
He's like you. You're like a carpet.
That's the way my back is?
Yes. But what was hilarious, I do have to give your dad one thing of props. Your dad has no hair on his back, as I've seen him in hospital gowns and stuff, right? And I asked him, I was like, why? And I'm sure she's listening. I'm sure she's listening.
Oh, yeah.
I asked him, I said, why is it your son has hair on his back and you don't? And he, without missing a beat, said, oh, he gets it from his mom because she was always laid out on her back on a carpet. I was like, wow, that's nice to say. And he's like, wasn't with me. It was with anyone with a male appendage. I mean, wow. Like no bitterness on that end. That's kind of a wow. I mean, that was great. And then Faith goes, well, how do you describe your ex in one word? And he was like, can it be hyphenated? And those wondering, he called her white trash tramp. White trash tramp. Yes, I think something like that. And then, yeah. So that was kind of fun to like hear that. But to know that you got your back hair from her being on her back on the carpet with everyone other than your dad was a hoot.
I bet somebody was hooting.
Well, she's listening.
Probably.
Oh, she is. She is.
Mm. All right, so this will be a short one.
Yeah, because we have another one to do.
I can make it.
You've only been up 4 hours.
I need a nap.
I'm gonna call Faith. You've only been up for 4 hours.
I took a nap earlier.
No.
It's Sunday.
No.
We deserve naps on Sunday.
You sleep every damn day of the week. And you don't have like narcolepsy or whatever. So
I have a medical condition.
You're so full of shit. It's unreal. Seriously.
I'll have to go take another one.
That's way too much information. And that's probably why Stucco,
Take a dump.
that's probably why Stucco released the toxicity in the air.
Probably. He probably laid one out on the floor.
That's nice.
Thanks, Stucco, buddy.
That's my boy. Don't you say anything negative about him.
Fat bastard, you.
Hey.
What?
Hey. Oh, no, sir. Stucco's perfect.
Did I say something right?
Stucco, come here, my love. He is absolutely beautiful and perfect.
You gotta stop feeding him so many damn treats.
Well, what's your excuse?
I like my treats.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Rusty. See, there's backup for me.
Rusty's on my side.
Actually, he is.
I know. That's my baby boy. He's such a good boy.
But the new dog will be mine.
That's what you think.
All mine.
Yeah, okay.
She'll go everywhere with me.
Yeah. I trained these two, and everybody talks about how well these two are trained. You did not train these two. Uh-huh.
She'll sleep on my side of the bed.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. We all know better.
She'll snuggle me.
Uh-huh. She'll crap on you.
I just have to give her a good name.
We've already decided all
I
this.
think I'll call her Robin.
No. Hey, what about calling her Tucker?
How about Misty?
How about Tucker?
Tucker?
Think about the underlying reasons for that.
The underlying reasons. Tucker.
You really have to meet her and see her personality, to be fair.
Of course.
But think about Tucker. That's where it all started.
Where what all started, love?
Us.
Where we started?
Yeah.
Well, really?
Mhm.
Situation and circumstance brought us together long before that.
We're talking geographics.
Right.
Okay.
Geographics.
Mm-hmm.
Think about all the law enforcement that brought you over to where I was at.
Okay, so what's wrong with the name?
Nothing's wrong with the name. You can name one of the departments we work for.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no thanks. No. You gonna call her Misty, short for misdemeanor?
No, how about Kimber?
No.
One of my favorite guns.
No. No.
And you can shorten it to Kim.
We are not naming that dog after my. You know what? I'm moving because Kim is going to come down here from heaven in a minute and pop you in your nose.
She likes it.
No. She would no. No. I'm sorry, Kim. No. Absolutely not.
Thanks for honoring me with a dog name.
Stucco. Good boy, Rusty. Rusty said no. Good boy. I love when Rusty talks. It's so sweet.
He goes,
I know. Good boy. You want to play? Yes.
that's all for me.
Yeah.
What else you got? Love.
We got another one to do there, sweet cheeks. Maybe we'll see if Faith will be in on this one.
Yay.
You need a Coke.
Good night, y'all.
You need to go get a Coke.
I hope y'all got something out of this. Thanks for listening to Contagious Smile podcast.